Hey guys, got a quick update for you, which is that we've made 2 changes to the app recently, which will help you guys with your workflow and speed things up. So one of them is stem groups. That's where in the stem control tab where you guys can select which sounds to switch off. We've now added groups so that you can just identify the sound that you want to switch off much more quickly. We've done it in sort of traditional splits, we call it in the music business. So they're kind of groups of instruments together, such as drums or strings or wind instruments, that kind of thing. But we've kind of kept the labeling as consistent as we can across the whole catalog, regardless of the genre, etc. Of course, there are going to be some differences, between cinematic and EDM or whatever. And the second thing is we've made a change to the way that you guys can set the initial mood of a track when you first load it up into the edit page, the app proper. So there, instead of having to make a selection and change the sliders or maybe even draw into the timeline directly to get that start position, we've made a much quicker way for that to happen. It's more intuitive, and I'm going to show you that right now. One thing to say also about the stem groups, by the way, is we are working our way through the entire catalogue, so not all of the tracks are going to have stem groups just yet, but we've tried to go for the most popular ones. So we've got a hit list and started the way, our way at the top and working our way through it. So if you have got particular music that you want to have the stem groups for and they're not available yet, just let us know. Email us as simple as that, and we'll add that to a priority list and get that done within normally just a few days. That shouldn't be a big task to get that prioritized for you guys. So yeah, just let us know. All right, so with that in mind, I know that not all of these have got stem groups necessarily. This track has, I know that for a fact. I'm just going to load this one up. And in here then, I'm just going to ignore this. If I go over to this tab then, which is the stem group or stem control, you can see now, instead of just a long list of all the different tracks, we've done track 1, 2, etc. We've got these groups, so strings or whatever. So let's have a little look. So I'm going to just show you the drums. There's 3 parts. I'm going to make sure the template is on maximum, just so we hear the drums. Hit play. And then what I can do is I can solo these. That's one drum part there. And this other drum part, then I can switch them off. There we go, done, no more drums. Okay, so the other thing I was saying then is about how to set this starting position. So you already saw me do the template, which is a right click, but what if these templates aren't quite right for you? So for example, this one is, everything's in the middle. Let's change this and see what the other one is. Maximum is this position, and then bed is this position. But say, for example, you wanted to start your track, I don't know, here and here. There are a couple of ways you could have done it, and I'm sure you guys are already doing this. So you could obviously draw this in. So with your pen tool, you're just going in like this. But this little bit there, because I couldn't quite maybe start here or whatever, then you have to kind of come back and do this, which is all right. Same with the selection. So let's say we go into momentum now, and we want to put this all the way up. So we could select all the timeline, which again, I might have missed a tiny bit there. And then we can just take the slider, move it up. But again, here, then we haven't quite got everything. So what do? Do we just select more? Make another selection, like so, hoping that's gone all the way to the left-hand side. And yeah. So, it just takes a couple of seconds. Whereas what we've done now is you simply have to, let's reset this actually, back down to bed. And then I'll just show you how I would do this now. So you just click latch mode, and then make sure the playhead's at the very beginning of the timeline, and now this will just do it. So put that there, and leave that where it was, whatever. So that's it. You just use latch mode now, which works basically offline or when the playhead isn't moving. Just a quick reminder for you guys. So with latch mode, when you record, let's just change this back to bed so it's nice and calm. Let's have a little listen. So with latch mode, if I'm recording something, you can see here that when I'm moving the momentum, it's not only moving the momentum where the playhead is, but it's basically applying that same value to the rest of the timeline, okay? So that's what we're calling latch. However, if I now take latch off, actually before I do, let me just record something else at the back here. So let's just pop some more momentum in here, okay? Now, let's say for sake of argument that you were happy with this last part, you're happy with the first part, but you just want to make one more change here. So clearly, having latch on would not be any good, right? Because as soon as you make a change, you're going to overwrite everything that's to the right of this playhead here. So you're going to get rid of the stuff you like. So switching latch off then, and now recording from here means that I can just make a small change and it's only going to affect the area where the playhead is whilst I'm making that change. And then as soon as I stop, I've done it, I've recorded. So that's that. And then one last little thing, again, this will just help for a number of things, but also for the setting of the start positions perhaps. Again, instead of selecting, you can actually just do a Command A now, or even a Control A, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah. So Command A, Control A, and then if you move any slider, then of course you're just changing the values wholesale across the whole thing. And don't forget, again, you can do right click and then levels if you want to really snap it into a particular position. You saw that snap to exactly the middle position, which is the sort of 50% mark on the slider. And again, just for you, those of you who aren't maybe massively familiar, the musicality of our tracks is how should I say? There's a kind of sympathetic, kind of quote unquote perfect rendition of the music at the strong positions of the sliders. That's not to say you can't leave the sliders where you want. You absolutely can, but quite often it's kind of more ideal to move the slider from one position to another, and how long you take in that transition, that's of course up to you and whatever the genre or your mood or your video edit dictates. But when you want to leave the music in a position for a segment of time, for a measure, for a kind of a beat of your film, or for a portion of your scene, then it's quite often recommended to just leave these sliders at, as I say, 0, 50 or 100, because you're just going to get the best result. All right, cool. Hope that was useful, and until next time, happy editing.